We're back, people, and today we're bringing on film on the Miami Dolphins defense versus the Texans. This is the best I've seen them look since probably the 2021 season. They were aggressive, caused a lot of turnovers. I know it's versus the Texans, so you don't want to get too overly excited about it, but still, coming off a bye, a lot of times teams get complacent, especially when they're playing a team that's much worse than they are. They usually, play a little more conservative, but the Dolphins defense, especially in the first half, came out with the fire, just played amazing, so let's get right into this one. The Dolphins came out, stopped the run early. This time, the first third down of the game, it's 3rd and 6. They played a lot of cover 1 in this one. They brought a lot of 5-man pressures. Been bringing a lot of 4 recently, but this time bringing 5 in this game. They put a lot of pressure on Kyle Allen. Great coverage on the back end from pretty much everyone. Everyone's pretty much locked up. Rowe on the tight end, Kohu in the slot, Crossan here versus Cooks, Howard on this side of the field, one-on-one. And they just create pressure instantly. Really pretty much everyone, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Melvin Ingram, Christian Wilkins, they all played outstanding in this game versus the run, creating pressure and just instantly forcing Kyle Allen out of the pocket in this one, making him feel uncomfortable in his first start in a while. They basically just played with relentless pressure, and then this caused, turnovers later in the game. If you can make a quarterback feel uncomfortable and just make a slight mess up on these throws out of the pocket, all it takes is a slight miscommunication, a slight missed throw, and then those plays turn into big time turnovers, as it does later in this game. Dolphins run defense was absolutely dominant in this one. It's probably the best I've ever seen the run defense be, at least in a very, very long time. On the early downs, they came out in their odd front looks, eagle type front right here, and Christian Wilkins played amazing. He's just been so good this season, especially versus the run. Look at him ID the pulling tackle right here. He knows he's probably going to get down blocked from either the guard or the center, so he just gets his right hand out immediately to feel this, and then pushes, pulls, uses his momentum against him, and then gets around, turns his hips towards the running back, and then fills this, makes the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Just a high-level play from Wilkins from an athletic standpoint, technical standpoint, and a mental standpoint. He just recognizes it so fast, gets his hands out, stays square, uses the momentum against him, and then shows off the athleticism to get down the line of scrimmage, make a play on Dameon Pierce right at the line of scrimmage. High level stuff from Wilkins. He was making plays versus the run pretty much every opportunity he got in this one. The Texans, they try to come out with a screen on this one, recognizing the Dolphins' aggressive nature, and then it just still doesn't work. Trying to come right at the blitz. It looks like Kohu might blitz on this one or come down versus the run concept, because he keys, this pulling guard. Probably looks like it's going to be a run, but it's an RPO with a screen attached to it. And Kohu recognizes this, him pulling it, gets off the block, forces Cooks back to the inside off this blitz. He comes off of it, and then it just allows everyone to rally. Holland comes downfield to make this tackle from, he's rotating down to a robber look while Rowe rotates to a single high. They did this a lot with their safeties in this game. Rowe, McKinley, Holland. It allowed Holland to play down more in the box, play with a little more instincts. Because a lot of times when he's single high, he's just uninvolved. But when he comes down, plays as a more, hook, curl, robber type role. He's allowed to play with a little more instincts. He's very comfortable there. So I do like this new look with the safeties. And Holland played another solid game in this one. The very next play, 3rd and 9, another 3rd and long situation. They bring 5 again, and they just, work their pressures, work their blitzes, their stunts up front. Good coverage on the back end. Everyone in pretty tight coverage. They just get pressure so quickly. Great job by Holland, too, because they're just blitzing, and this running back pretty much has no man on him, and Holland is just man-to-man on the running back from this depth, like 12 yards deep from the line of scrimmage. Pretty impressive stuff. And then you get Ingram getting the instant pressure. Duke Riley ends up looping around here. He just shoots inside the right tackle, forces Kyle Allen to rotate out, and then, Riley, Phillips get to Kyle Allen basically at the same time, just cleaning up this pressure. Great hustle by this defense. I'll show some plays later with Phillips. Phillips has some of the best hustle plays I've seen, ever from a player, and he has them multiple times every single game, and his speed, his effort is just really shining for this defense. This play right here is, vintage Xavier Howard. Him bailing, showing press. He bails, they're running cover 3. He allows the wide receiver to eat up his cushion. He knows he has helps, to the inside, deep middle of the field. Howard does like to play low leverage, especially low outside leverage when he has inside help, and he's not afraid to get beat deep. He knows he has the speed to undercut it, but he loves to bait throws, make this look like it's going to be open, and then just undercut, go for the interception. Almost gets this, the receiver has to play DB because Howard basically runs the route for him. And that's just vintage Xavier Howard. He played a great game in this one too. You could tell he was just baiting, going for the interception, and he gets the touchdown later off that fumble recovery. Since the Dolphins have been bringing a lot of pressure on third down, this time they try to go over the play action, create a clean pocket on second down, the Texans do, but they're still able to create pressure with just a 3-man rush, and that's so important if you can create pressure with 3-man, 4-man rushes, and you just get Kyle Allen to just feel a little bit uncomfortable, throw a little bit off his base here, trying to throw it to his running back out of the backfield. It just floats on him just enough, and when you make them make just a tiny little mistake, you can make them pay. Andrew Van Ginkel in the right spot to get the interception. Van Ginkel, doesn't always get a ton of playing time, but whenever he plays special teams, defense, it just seems like he always has one big defensive play a game, like versus the run, getting interceptions, fumble recoveries. He always seems to be getting big time turnovers and just great pressure up front. Raekwon Davis, Wilkins splitting this double team, forcing him to his left. Then he feels the pressure from Davis just bullying the center, and then that makes him force this bad throw here. And then Van Ginkel almost takes us in for a touchdown, and the Dolphins just score on a running play right after this. One of the reasons I think the run defense has been so effective is this front. When you have Wilkins, Sealer in the 4-eye, and then either Jenkins, Raekwon Davis playing the zero tech, and they try to run outside zone away from Wilkins or Sealer, they're both so good at not getting reach blocked here, and they're just running to the opposite side, outside zone, like a stretch play, and Wilkins is not going to allow the player to cross his face. He's too athletic, he's too smart, he recognizes keys and diagnosis, he gets his hand in, now once he's in control of the situation, not allowing this offensive lineman to cross his face, he gets his eyes in the backfield, finds Pierce, and then shows off the lateral range to get down the line of scrimmage, tracking Pierce the whole way. Wilkins has been one of the best players on the Dolphins this season. He was even one of the best players on the Dolphins last season, but he's even improved this year. Like, it's been so impressive. Definitely one of the better first-round picks the Dolphins have had in recent years. Another third and long situation. Dolphins go cover one again. This time they're showing cover 2-man pre-snap. Another 5-man pressure look. They only end up bringing 4 because Riley's man-to-man on Burkhead, the running back. But just getting pressure instantly. And just look at Jalen Phillips on this play. Obviously, there was some good coverage on the back end. I think Crossan got beat on his, but with the instant pressure. Just watch Phillips. He does this every single week where he is either the loop or the crash guy, but this time he's crashing. He's trying to get this loop for the zero tech, but he's so quick, has such an explosive first step that he's able to still split this and get around. Like, he's the guy trying to set up in this hustle play. It's so impressive. Like, he is one of the fastest guys on this team, and at his size, he's an absolute freak of nature. Like, he's so explosive. It's not just the first step explosiveness. He gets the inside, tries to take, the center out of the play, allowing Sealer to loop back around, and then it creates pressure. Ingram does a great job beating the right tackle. This right tackle is getting absolutely bullied in this game. But when he's in this position, he should have no shot to make a play here. He doesn't even get a great angle. He's not able to, undercut, this way to take the angle. He has to loop around and still is able to catch Kyle Allen, get at his feet. Like, this hustle, this speed is so impressive. I think every single week, Phillips is probably the player that impresses me the most on this defense, week after week with the plays that he's making. I know the sacks haven't been crazy high, but he's creating so much pressure and showing such great hustle and speed that he's blowing up plays. And maybe the stat line doesn't always show it, but Phillips has been amazing for this defense. I love watching Kader Kohou play. Week after week, he just makes plays. Another play, first the screen. Look at him recognize this. He almost gets the interception, but then ends up getting the 3-yard loss. If a DB's almost getting an interception on the screen, they're recognizing this quickly. Once he sees his receiver that he's man-to-man on, or he's keying here almost, go to the outside like this, looking like he's going to block, he just snaps his eyes back to the number 1, sees him working on the screen, gets downhill, snaps eyes back to the quarterback, almost gets the interception right at the catch point, just misses it, but is there to blow up the play, make the tackle for loss. Kohou, just a super instinctive, physical player, and he's way more athletic than you would expect, a UDFA to be an undrafted guy. He just pretty much has it all except for maybe the ideal size you're looking for, but when you can make up for it with the athleticism and the physicality to play bigger than you are, then that's how you do it, and Kohou is definitely one of those guys. Second and 13 situation, Texans come out and play action, and they have these receiver lined up over Bradley Chubb to slow down his pass rush. They don't want the edge rushers to just shoot up the field. They get him one-on-one with a tight end here, using this play action to maybe, have him slow down. But once he reads the play action, he just uses his speed, sets this up so nicely with his footwork, timed with his hands here, and then chop down, rip, shows off the bend, throws this left elbow back. This is good technique. You throw that left elbow back and it forces your hips to open up towards the quarterback, and then he shows off the instincts to go for the ball, get the strip sack, and he keeps doing that. Obviously, it's going to eventually translate to turnovers. Chubb looked really good in this game. Pretty much every defensive lineman looked really good in this game. So yeah, look forward to seeing him get more and more opportunities to make these plays on the quarterback. And right after that big sack, they get their touchdown. Good job by Eric Rowe here. Kohu getting the initial tackle on him, and Rowe just finishing it off, and then Howard getting the touchdown. Obviously, it's a 3rd and 24 situation. You can see some good communication from Howard. He points out that this guy's going into the flat, knowing that's probably where it's going to get dumped off. Just, rally to that guy if it gets thrown there. And then they see it. Kohu gets downfield. First guy to make contact. Rowe comes in. I love the aggressiveness Rowe's been playing with. Like this year, he hasn't been a big-time player for the team, but when he has played, he's played way more physical than he has in the past. And then Howard always seems to be in the right spot to get these fumble recoveries, and this time gets the touchdown off of it. Defense looking like their 2021 form in this one. All these plays that have been breaking down so far have been all in the first half. That's what most of the plays will be, because second half, it got a little more conservative, a lot of garbage time plays. But here, they bring the pressure. They, basically protection sliding to the right here. It allows Roberts to come off the edge, and it's with play action, so Pierce is going to be a little late to recognize this because he has to get the play action first. Wilkins on the front side of the play is just able to beat, the right tackle, push him back in. Like, that is impressive play strength, using your leverage. And then Roberts able to beat Pierce, and they just, pancake at the quarterback. So much pressure created in this one. When they're bringing pressure and they're getting there quickly, the Dolphins defense is very difficult to stop because it just fits all of their play styles. And then the secondary is very opportunistic. Once the ball is thrown quickly off of pressure, they love to get their turnovers. So hopefully this can carry into the next weeks, because it's going to be very, very important in those ones. Another 3rd down situation. Dolphins get another big time sack. When you're just bringing, only 4-man looks, obviously there's some zone blitzes coming into this one, blitzing from the secondary, but Phillips just beats his guy. He just makes a good spin off. He doesn't want to get too far off of this. He's basically going to the outside, and once he's about to get too far upfield, he spins off this, knowing the quarterback is probably going to step up into the pocket, and he just times it perfectly. Got to give Jalen Phillips some love for the sacks here, because he has been playing with so much effort, so much competitiveness. It's been really awesome to watch week after week, so I love watching him be successful. Especially, I know when coming out of college, he thought his career might have been over just because of some concussion things that happened when he was at UCLA. And then he went to the Miami, the U, and then turned into a first-round pick. Great story that Phillips is, and then has played really well in his 2nd season for the Dolphins. Last play I'm going to break down is actually the last play of the game for the defense. It's the Verone-McKinley interception. Nice to see him getting involved. Him playing middle of the field. This is what he's kind of done for the Dolphins when they've brought him in, is asking him to play middle of field safety, moving Holland around the field into different spots. McKinley's very comfortable here. This is what he played a lot at Oregon. He's definitely comfortable being middle field close, cover 1. He's just reading the QB's eyes. You can already see him starting to get to this side. Getting to the slot fade is very difficult. Obviously, it's a bad underthrow, too far to the inside. But McKinley probably would have been there too, even if it was thrown well to the sideline. Just based on, his range right here, it looks like he probably would have been pretty close to making a play. Because he starts to slow down just because he is keying the ball in the air. Good tracking ability. He is a ball hawk in the secondary. Has a lot of interceptions coming from college. And it's just nice to seeing another undrafted guy making plays, especially when you didn't have too many draft picks, and your undrafted guys have been very successful so far, especially Kohu, and now McKinley getting involved. Just a nice thing to see for this defense. Hopefully they can keep this up. The next 3 weeks are going to be very, very important games. If they can pull off 2 of those 3 games getting wins, this team is definitely making the playoffs. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.